Part 1: The Foundations of True Strength. What does it truly mean to be strong? Is it the loudest voice in the room, the man who dominates others through sheer willpower? Or is it something quieter, steadier, something rooted not in power over others, but in mastery over oneself? Most of us go through life believing that not doing harm makes us good. We think neutrality is enough. But Stoicism and experience teach us something far more demanding. Being good is not the absence of evil, it is the presence of virtue in action. This is where strength begins, not in your muscles, not in your social status, not in applause, but in the daily decisions to move from neutral to positive to good. Let's begin by exploring 5 Stoic habits that shape a man into something far greater than just safe. They make him a pillar, quiet, resilient, dangerously good. 1. Escaping the trap of neutrality. The video highlights a vital truth. Neutrality is a 0. You haven't failed, but you also haven't grown. Stoicism urges us to respond intentionally, not drift passively. Think about your own life. How many opportunities to act for good have you let pass simply because it wasn't your problem? Maybe you witnessed unfair treatment at work. Maybe you saw someone struggling on the street. Neutrality spares you discomfort, but it costs you growth. The Stoics would call this wasted potential. Marcus Aurelius wrote that our duty is to be a good man, not merely to avoid harm. My take: in today's culture, neutrality often hides behind phrases like, "I don't want to get involved," or "that's not my business." But those are excuses. True strength is found in involvement, knowing when and how to step forward, guided not by impulse but by virtue. 2. The ripple effect of small acts. Strength doesn't have to roar. More often, it whispers. The cashier with tired eyes, the friend who desperately needs someone to listen, the colleague who's overlooked in a meeting. Every one of these is a test, not of your convenience, but of your character. Stoicism reframes strength. It's not measured by dominance, but by contribution. Each small kindness is a seed. Over time, they ripple outward, changing not just others, but also yourself. Reflection. When I started deliberately asking people how they were, actually waiting for an answer, not just tossing out the words, I was shocked. That pause created space for honesty. People softened. And in those moments, I realized connection is not about fixing, it's about recognizing humanity. This is strength in action. It costs nothing, but it builds everything. 3. Building the habit of goodness. Here's where habit formation comes in. A single kind act is meaningful, but consistent acts transform your identity. Journaling, yes, something as simple as writing down small deeds, helps reinforce who you are becoming. When you review these entries, you see proof, not of perfection, but of progress. Over weeks and months, you start seeing yourself differently. I'm the kind of person who notices. I'm the kind of person who helps. Observation. This is a Stoic principle applied practically. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Tracking good acts turns your ideals into identity. And once your identity shifts, action follows more naturally. 4. The concept of being dangerously good. The phrase is striking, dangerously good. At first glance, it sounds contradictory. How can goodness be dangerous? But here's the Stoic insight. True goodness requires strength, readiness, and moral courage. Picture a crowded room, people competing for attention. One person remains calm, watchful, and collected. They don't need to shout, their presence commands respect. That's dangerous, not because they're violent, but because they're unshakable. My perspective: I've seen this in quiet leaders, the ones who intervene against injustice without grandstanding, who remain calm when chaos erupts. They aren't feared for their temper, they're respected for their steadiness. This is the Stoic warrior, disciplined, restrained, yet ready. Dangerously good means having the capacity to protect, to act, to sacrifice comfort for principle. And it means doing so without seeking recognition. 5. The role of continuous learning. Knowledge is not strength in itself, but wisdom. The application of knowledge is. Stoicism insists that philosophy must be practical. To be strong is to be informed, but also discerning. Don't just collect information. Question it, apply it, live it. Commit to learning, not casually, but deliberately. Read broadly, listen deeply, challenge your assumptions. And when you learn something new, immediately ask, how can I use this to live better? Example, imagine learning about the importance of active listening. If you keep it theoretical, it dies in your notebook. But if you apply it, consciously listening without planning your reply, You transform conversations. That's wisdom in motion. 6. Cultivating calm as core strength. The modern world is chaos, breaking news, endless notifications, constant stress. Calm is rare, and rare things are valuable. Calmness doesn't mean suppression, it means control. It means creating space between stimulus and response. When you master this space, you master yourself. Practical tools, meditation, journaling, breath work, or even simply controlling your environment, choosing music that soothes, avoiding inputs that agitate. Personal reflection. For me, calm became a strength when I realized it wasn't passivity, it was active preparation. Calm allows you to choose wisely rather than react impulsively. In conflicts, that pause often prevents escalation. It protects relationships and it preserves dignity. 7. Wisdom is timing and discretion. Wisdom is more than knowledge. It's knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Sometimes wisdom is restraint, not entering every argument, not reacting to every provocation. Other times it's courage, speaking when silence would betray your values. Illustration, think of the old saying, a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Stoic wisdom is exactly that, practical discernment. Reflection before reaction is crucial. Ask, will this action align with my values? Will it serve in the long term? When you practice this, your choices become less impulsive, more principled. 8. Bringing it together. Part 1 Summary. In this first half, we've uncovered the foundations of Stoic strength, escaping neutrality and choosing proactive good, creating ripples of kindness through small, consistent acts, journaling and reflection to shape identity, embracing the paradox of being dangerously good, committing to lifelong learning that becomes wisdom, practicing calmness as a daily discipline, using reflection to guide timing, discretion, and action. This is where true strength begins, not in domination, but in virtue, not in applause, but in consistency. And yet, this is only the groundwork. In part 2, we'll take these foundations further into resilience, legacy, leadership, and the art of living wisely in a turbulent world. Part 2, Living as a Stoic Strongman. Let's explore how these Stoic habits extend beyond daily practice into lifelong transformation. 1. Resilience. Turning trials into training. Life will test you. Unexpected illness, betrayal, financial strain, loss. Strength is not the absence of hardship, it's the ability to turn hardship into training. The Stoics remind us, we don't control events, only responses. To a weak man, adversity is destruction. To a strong man, it is instruction. Reflection. When I look back, the moments I grew most weren't when life was smooth, but when it was hard. Those difficulties stripped away illusions and forced me to confront who I really was. That's when Stoic principles became not just ideas, but lifelines. 2. Leadership through example, not authority. Leadership doesn't come from titles, it comes from conduct. The Stoic strongman doesn't need to demand respect, he earns it. Think of Marcus Aurelius, an emperor, yes, but one who wrote personal reflections reminding himself daily not to be arrogant, not to forget his duty, not to seek applause. His power was immense, yet his leadership came through humility and virtue. Personal insight. In any community, family, workplace, friendships, people follow the one who embodies steadiness. They watch consistency, not charisma. Leadership is not about being in charge, it's about being worth following. 3. The legacy of daily choices. Every act, however small, shapes a legacy. Your children, your friends, even strangers will remember not what you said, but how you lived. Legacy isn't built in one grand moment. It's constructed brick by brick, decision by decision. Reflection. I once read that character is who you are when no one is watching. Legacy is how people feel when they remember you. If your daily actions lean toward kindness, integrity, and courage, your legacy will take care of itself. 4. The discipline of control. Stoicism distinguishes between what you can and cannot control. This is liberating, yet brutally demanding. You cannot control how others treat you. You cannot control external events. But you can always control your attitude, your response, your virtue. Practical application. When faced with anger, choose patience. When tempted to gossip, choose silence. When pulled toward despair, choose gratitude for what remains within your control. My view, this discipline is like weight training for the soul. At first, it feels heavy, but over time, it strengthens you. Eventually, control becomes your default stance, not repression, but mastery. Community. The web of positivity, no man is an island. Stoicism is often misread as isolationist, but the opposite is true. Virtue is relational. Your goodness touches others. Their goodness touches you. Reflection. Think of kindness like fire. A single spark spreads warmth, lighting others, who in turn light more. Soon a community is built, not by grand leaders, but by ordinary men practicing extraordinary consistency. The Stoic strongman doesn't just live for himself, he lives in a way that uplifts those around him. 6. The silent guardian archetype. Return to the image, a quiet presence in a crowded room. Calm, steady, reliable, not loud, not boastful, but unshakable. This is the archetype of the Stoic man, the silent guardian, not seeking recognition, not performing virtue, simply embodying it. Personal note, this is the kind of man people look to in crisis. He doesn't need applause. He doesn't crave validation. His reward is internal, knowing he lived with virtue. Number 7, embracing mortality, urgency for goodness. Stoicism constantly reminds us, memento mori, remember you will die. Far from depressing, this is energizing. Life is short. Neutrality wastes it. Courage and kindness redeem it. Reflection. When I consider mortality, I realize that most anxieties are trivial. What matters is not whether I was comfortable, but whether I was good. Mortality sharpens focus. It urges us to act now, not later. 8. Final integration. The Stoic path. Bringing everything together, the Stoic strongman embodies 5 essential habits. He actively chooses virtue over neutrality. He builds strength through small, consistent acts of goodness. He practices calmness, courage, and control daily. He seeks wisdom through continuous learning and reflection. He lives for others